Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Father Sky. Thank you for all of life. Thank you for the water. Thank you for the air. This is what it's about.
We're here at the Conference of the Parties 16 of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And it's very critical that Indigenous peoples of the world are present here to lift up our voices as the original people, as First Nations.
The reason why I'm here, why we're here as a group, is because Indigenous peoples are going to be the most impacted communities by climate change. But not just by climate change and the impacts of a changing environment, but also by a number of the specific ways that governments and companies want to try and say they're resolving climate change.
The Indigenous Native nations, it's time to unite, stand together as warriors, it's time to fight. We don't see boundaries, solidarity's a must, cause we didn't cross their borders crossed us.
One left San Luis Potosí, Guadalajara, Oaxaca, from Chiapas, from Puebla. The people are getting organized. The people are resisting. We're many struggles, but it's one movement. And this one movement is spreading the message of respect for human rights, respect for Mother Earth. We're asking the United Nations to hear our message, that we're here united with many indigenous nations and social movements around the world to say another world is possible. And we need to find those solutions and not put profits before people. Instead, we need to put people before profits.
I know what it's like to be in a community that's being targeted by the fossil fuel regime. And I know what it's like to deal with the sicknesses, the things that happen to our people as a result of this industry. I'm here because last week I buried a friend of mine. You know, she died of cancer, my age. And I'm here so that I can stop things like that from happening in our communities. I'm here so that when industries come in, we have leverage, we have a voice, we have a say in what happens within our reservation, within our community, within our state. We're people and we want to be heard.
REDS is a program that's supposed to create this gigantic market for carbon sequestration in trees. Well, who owns the trees? What are they buying when they buy the carbon in the trees? Are they going to restrict indigenous lifeways? Are they going to restrict subsistence? And it turns out that yes, that's part of the plan. I think one of the things that we have accomplished internationally is a Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples that requires states to ask before they take. And that has to be the new relationship between indigenous peoples and the state. Because until they have to ask, it's the same old colonialism that Columbus brought over and whenever.
We're really concerned about these false solutions that these governments of the world, especially the United States, and these industrialized northern rich countries are pushing that are not solutions to resolving the climate crisis. So we're here to challenge those false solutions, and we're also here to challenge the carbon markets that are being created. So it's very critical that we have the voice of indigenous peoples here.
We're here today marching with thousands of people in the streets of Cancun, answering the call out from La Via Campesina, the biggest social movement on the planet. We're here today to call out nation states of the world and their failure to act in the global climate crisis. And in particular, we're here to call out the World Bank and their co-optation of the United Nations Climate Change Convention, through the World Bank REDS program. We're here with a direct message to World Bank to say that as indigenous peoples, we do not want our forests to be traded in the International Forest Carbon Facility. We don't want forest removals from our homelands. We know how to take care of our lands. We don't need the World Bank getting involved in that. So we're here to say to the United Nations, to the world, and to the thousands of people that are taking actions all across the planet on today's La Via Campesina call out, that as indigenous peoples, we want rights and we don't want REDS. No red, no. No red, no. And connection to these roots that run deep in the soul of our mother, deep in the soul of our mother, deep in the soul of our mother.
deep in the soul of our mother, deep in the soul of our mother.
All of these things that are going on in our communities with this pollution is allowed to continue because of false solutions. There are carbon market mechanisms that are being discussed here at this COP16 that are false solutions to climate change because they allow countries like the United States to continue polluting without any repercussions. We need to stand together and realize that this is not a real solution. Commodification of the air, privatization of the sacred. This is crazy.
It causes me a lot of pain as president to listen to my brothers and sisters talking about permanent droughts. Without water, there's no production. Without production, we lack food. It may be easy for us here in an air-conditioned room to continue with the policies of destruction of Mother Earth. We need instead to put ourselves in the shoes of families in Bolivia and worldwide that lack water and food and suffer misery and hunger. I feel that many delegates here have no idea what it is like to be a victim of climate change.
Because a lot of times, in this day and age, we only talk about human rights. Well, how about the animal rights, the fish rights, the bird rights? It's a way of gratitude to acknowledge all life, not just what we can get out of this, but to say thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Father Sky. Thank you for all of life. Thank you for the water. Thank you for the air. This is what it's about.